How are you, mate?
Yeah, very good. Yeah, all right. Not too shabby, as we say. As
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, it's good. It's been quite busy. We're on this kind of acoustic tour across the country, playing all these like really independent venues. Kind of like all the ones we came up in. Um, so it's been really cool, kind of shining a light on them. It's kind of one of the positives about the new way of getting in the charts for independent bands. You got to go and play these places, but it's been really cool and nostalgic. So yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. I was just gonna say, I think you definitely won in the hair stakes.
I don't know. I don't know. It's a bit shabby looking, but yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna get any sympathy from me. Um, so playing these shows, these independent stores playing acoustic, like your music
Mm.
kind of lends itself to acoustic treatments. Um, is that kind of how you
Mm.
started off by writing songs in the beginning?
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's where all the songs start. It's nice to share them that way. But yeah, actually, Hugh and me, we first met when I saw busking in Brighton. Um, and he just came up and was like, "Oh, I like that song. What is it?" And I said, "I wrote it." And he was like, "Oh, should we like jam?" And I was like, "I'm trying to start a band." And so we always used to do that. I think we just used to annoy people. When we were in Brighton, we would just go to parties and we just play acoustic everywhere. So it does that you can hear that in our all our music really, especially our first few albums. It's got that kind of folk skank that is just the percussion often comes from the acoustic guitar, you know?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And there's a lot of that on the new album, which has just come out.
Mm.
Congratulations on the new album. It's such a good album. Like I was really pleased to just listen to this and think this is just the Kooks being the Kooks in the best way possible. It also sounds amazing. The production is really, really nice, which is something that I appreciate. So congratulations. How's it been
Thank you.
like having it out in the world? And how does your relationship with a record change once it's released?
Well, firstly, yeah, thanks so much. And I mean, it was quite a different experience in a way because I actually produced it myself, which means even more that you said that about the production. And so I was a little bit nervous because it's my sort of debut production, and so I guess like I had a bit more skin in the game on this one, I like personally, and it's just a very personal record, lyrically as well. I had a bit of a lightning bolt moment where I wrote the album very quickly, in like sort of 4 or 5 days, like in terms of sort of just the lyrics and melody, before we started workshopping it and everything. And it it just sort of poured out of me, and I was having some uh, pretty life-changing moments of starting a family, and I was really having this kind of reconnection with my dad, who I kind of realized my dad died when I was 3, and I kind of realized all of it was to do with him, why I'm in a band, because he was a musician, and my son was coming up to the age I was when my dad died, and I just had this kind of weirdly joyous feeling of like of knowing how much time he had with me. And so some of the songs are about that, and I'd sort of written a letter to my dad on this track called "See Me Now" on our fourth album. So I'd sort of touched upon it, but this was reopening that. So having it out in the world, yeah, it feels really good. I feel very connected with this record. I feel there's a lot of clarity, and I think what you said is perfect. It's kind of how I feel about it. It was just embracing who we are and just doing what we do best, and that's exciting for us, you know.
Yeah. But it still feels like you're moving forward. Like there's definitely like the
Mm.
classic Kooks sound, but it doesn't feel like you're rehashing old ideas at all. It feels really fresh.
Yeah, I think that it's a kind of authenticity thing, because if you're just doing stuff that you love and with the like connecting with the influences that you've sort of grown up with, it has to be fresh, because you're not we're not there trying to rewrite Naive or whatever, you know. There's a a spontaneity to it, so it's going to feel fresh. And I think part of debut records and the way they sound as well is sort of stripping things back, and we really did that. There's not a lot going on. It's a lot about the chemistry of the band and the guitar interplay, which it is always going to be new and different when you're capturing the recording that way, and we're working that way. You get magic moments, hopefully. Um, it's more of a soul record in a way, especially from our first few records, because a lot of people have said to me it reminds them like not the sound, but kind of like the energy of our first album. But it's a
Yeah.
real like soul record, and a lot of the influences from my dad's sort of era, like or not even his era, but the music he loved from Everly Brothers and the kind of 50s like Buddy Holly and Beach Boys and things like that that we haven't we haven't tapped into as much before. So that kind of I think brings a new dimension to it.
Is that music that you listen to personally yourself, or is it just from your dad?
Oh yeah, no, I listened to it. Yeah, I got left a stack of records when he died, and that they were all there. Arthur Alexander and so I yeah I do, but um th those I haven't really maybe um the soul thing's a funny thing because I think it does come from a kind of a slightly like m morose kind of joy, it's like. And it's like because of where I'm at in my life as well, and just the tempos as well. The tempos being back at like low, slowed down a little bit, and but still rock and roll. Um, so yeah, those influences have always been there, but this time really sonically, just really embracing that
Yeah.
was a new thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Do you think your dad would be a Kooks fan?
I think he'd like the new one. I genuinely do, but I mean, I'd like to say I don't know. I think he would have been super happy I did music for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm sure some of it he would have been kind of critical of, but I'd like
That's
to
what
think
dads are
he
for.
would be. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So you mentioned about self-producing the album for the first
yeah.
time. Was that freeing or was it scary or a combination?
Um, it was kind of. I didn't find it scary. And the way that my style of production was really to just not be particularly tyrannical and to try and just. I know what everyone's really good at, and just trying to get everyone to blossom and have their roles, and so. I really enjoyed the kind of psychological side of production. It's like making sure everyone feels really connected with it and feels like they get their space and they can be the best of what they do. Um, so I don't think scary, but I had a real vision for it, the sound of it and what it would be. So um, at the beginning, I was apprehensive to bring it to the band and say, "Look, I've got this whole idea," because I felt like it was quite a big ask. But everyone was very positive, and when they heard the demos, everyone was like, "Wow, yeah, this is like totally what we should be doing." And then when we workshopped, everyone had time and we musically arranged everything. And I kept it very spontaneous and quick and fun. So for my part, I think it's a very enjoyable record to make, which people do think maybe isn't the best. A lot of people think the best records are made when it's really hard and you're going
Yeah.
through heartbreak and lists. But I don't know if I'm a believer in that. There's different kinds of records. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah, there's all kinds of records and it just depends where you are in life and it obviously sounds like you're in a good place with your personal life and everything that's going on and now you've got this tour coming up which starts the North American tour starts in Montreal, which is where we are. It's only just over a
Hmm.
year since you were at MTELUS. We still call it Metropolis from back in the
Hmm.
day. Um, I
Yeah.
was at I was at that show, amazing show, and you're going
Oh,
to be
thank you.
back in that room on the 27th of May. Do you have many like memories about Montreal?
Well, that is an excellent backstage. It's kind of like a club, isn't it? It's like it's very, very cool. Yeah, I like the vibe there. I mean, it's like European, you know. It's like
Yeah,
a lot of independent places, like a lot of community vibes. Um, I feel like I don't know if it's from Montreal, but I remember clamato juice quite well. Um,
right.
the clam tomato juice. I remember enjoying that. And yeah, great town. I mean, I'm really excited to be back.
Yeah, what makes a good Kooks show for you? Like when you come off stage at the end of the night,
Mm.
what makes it like a really,
Mm.
really great show?
You just want to feel like in the groove in the pocket, and you don't get that all the time. With live music. It's the kind of danger of it is so amazing, and sometimes sometimes you can be knackered, or you can be not in a great place, and then the show kind of saves you. Those kind of sometimes are the best ones. And the crowd, I mean, as a performer, you're always just trying to you're pushing and pulling to feel like what the vibe is in the crowd. So I guess the one the best word to describe it is connection, isn't it? It's like if you feel like you've really connected and you've done the set list right, and um you've taken people on a bit of a journey, and they've had a bit of escapism. I mean, essentially that's our business, I think, is like, and that's what the album is as well, it's like everyone's very consumed by how unstable the world is and everything. And music can be a really cool spot to kind of forget that for a few hours, and just like so it's a feeling of like connectivity in the audience, and it sometimes it's not to do with you or your performance. It's just like catching a wave. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's the beauty of live music.
That is the beauty of live music, and that's why we still go out to shows. Like we can watch a Kooks gig on YouTube, or we can listen to the
Yeah.
album at home, but it's not the same as being in the room together, is it?
It's not the same. It's not the same. It never will be.
Yeah,
Sorry, AI.
yeah, that's it. Would you say that you're at like a point in your life that's like things are changing a little bit, like not only on a personal level, but with the band as well?
I think so. I think well, like the big changes. I think we've properly grown up actually. It took, there's this theory I think of like bands like us, like when we sort of hit the big time, sort of in 2006, we were teenagers, and I think you get a bit of arrested development when that happens, and so you kind of it's been a delayed thing. So I think we just kind of we've more we've just got our confidence. We've kind of I think we're still pretty rock and roll in our attitude, but we're just a bit more calm with it, and I think that shows on the album and that shows on the live shows now. It's like we're acting our age now, and I'm really enjoying that. Is that there's a maturity coming through. Although we're sticking to what the band's all about, it is youthful, vibrant music, but I'd say that's the biggest change, and just been really nice having the families out. We've all got kids now, and it's like I really like that. I think some people like to have that boundary of like their family life at home, and we like to have it quite a little bit of a kind of crash vibe on tour sometimes. And some of my favorite artists were like that. They didn't really have, they'd have their kids in the studio, and whereas Serge Gainsbourg or like John Lennon or Bob Marley, it's like you see it, and I think that's a cool way to be, and I think that's a big change for us in the past few years.
Nice. So last couple of questions. I wanted to ask you, like obviously you have certain big hits that you're very well known for. Is there a song that you're particularly proud of that you feel like doesn't get enough attention?
There's a couple, particularly actually from our fourth album. Personally, not that I listen to all our records that much, but I'm very proud of that record. And there's a couple of songs. There's one called Murderer, which was kind of left off the album, which I'm really annoyed that I didn't push to just put it on the album, but it was kind of like committee decided not to be. But there's a song called Murderer, which is this kind of very it's a kind of story about a father and a daughter and what happened, and it's kind of dark but really soul rock and roll, kind of bluesy, really bluesy track. One that my dad probably would have liked actually.
There you go.
So that one's one to check out for sure. I could go on a few more, but that one particularly, you can get it. It's online and stuff. So yeah, I think it's a cool
Yeah.
one.
Okay, and without thinking too much about it, like 10 seconds
Yeah.
max,
Okay.
what would you say is your favorite album of all time?
Favorite album of all time. Um,
Or the one you've listened to more than any other?
Troubadour, JJ Cale. There you
Oh
go.
wow.
Didn't think about it too much. I love that album. Guitar playing is phenomenal. One of the great unknown guitar heroes in some ways. I know Clapton and people like that. Knopfler, everyone loves him, but that is a very cool record.
Cool.
Soulful, vibey, beautiful. Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna go and listen to that again because I haven't listened to that for a long time. So
it's a
anyway,
wicked vibe.
and we're looking forward to seeing you. Tell us on the 27th of May. As I say, the new album's phenomenal. So looking forward to hearing some of those songs in that room as well. But in the meantime, thank you very much for your time. It's been nice talking to you.
Thank you so much, Steve. Really appreciate it.